Hello everyone, welcome back. Today we're going to be talking about date tables. So Power BI and date tables, we can get really complicated or they can be really simple. So I'm going to try to give you a date table that's pretty much going to encompass everything that you could possibly need in a date table within your Power BI model. We'll go through with how to set it up, how to relate it to your other data, and then also how to put some of the data on the page to make it into a nice report pretty quickly. So right here on the page is what you're looking at. This is going to be the date table that we're going to be creating. So it's going to be containing all of these different columns. So it's got different fiscal year starts, different fiscal quarter data, holidays, work days, work weeks, weekends, bunch of different stuff to make sure that you've got everything you need in a date table to possibly be able to slice and dice your data by how you need to. So let's go through with how to create those. Very simple, very easy. What we're first going to want to do is go into our transform data button. So that transform data button is going to pop open our Power Query Editor window. So once we've got the Power Query Editor window open, we're going to want to go to a new source. So we're going to be creating a new source. And let's go and just add a blank source. Next, what we're going to do here is go into the advanced editor. So once we've got these queries selected, our blank query, there's nothing here on the page, go to the advanced editor up here and then highlight everything, and there will be a file in the description for you to copy and paste in this code. But what we're going to be copying and pasting is essentially the code to create that date table we were just looking at. So here's that code that will be in the description if you want to download for the date table. Literally just copy and paste this. So if you want to scroll through it, it'll be there in the text file for you to scroll through. Nothing complicated, nothing fancy, just got all the different date stuff that we could possibly need. So once that's in your advanced editor, go ahead and push done. Again, you literally just copy and paste from the file. And then so now, right here, this is going to be our query. So what we've set up is essentially we've set up a function. So when we enter in some of these items, the required data for this query, and press invoke, then it will create our big date table. So let's just go, for instance, January 1st, 2020. If you want to select on the calendar, you can also select through the calendar, right? Just click on that little calendar and click through there. And great, sure, that works, the end of 2023. And then, so this is where the date table can get really fancy and can start to do really custom stuff to get you exactly what you can need for your models. So on this date table, we've got a couple of options here. Right here is the fiscal year start month number. So down at the bottom, you can read exactly what that's going to do for you. So if you give that a number, let's say 2, what that's going to say is instead of the year starting on 1/1 for a fiscal year data, our fiscal year columns will have the year starting in February. So right down here, month number of the fiscal year, January if omitted. So very, very nifty if you're working with an organization that does not have a fiscal year that starts in January and they start in, let's say, June or May. You just type in that fiscal year starting month, and there you go. Now you've got a year column that can filter your years by the fiscal year of the organization you're working with. Same thing with the week number. Let's say you're working as a accounting individual somewhere at some firm, and you've got some people do their dates by different week dates, by different week numbers. You can have the default of this date table be various week numbers. So you can have it start at week number 1. You can have it start, again, down here. You can see what that's going to default to. One would be, what's one? One would be a Sunday, I think. And then you can switch it to even Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, right? You can switch it to whoever you want it to be. And then add relevant work days. I haven't used this one before. Let's see what this one does. No clue. Give it a shot. And then some other additional things that you can do that are super nice is, let's say you're working on some report where you need to do some daily work rate analysis about how effective and efficient somebody's being per day. You want to be sure to only count the work days and not count any holidays or any weekends against that individual's productivity, right? So we can include a holiday column with just a list of holidays that will exclude those dates as work days. And again, when we're filtering, we can exclude holidays for our various reporting needs. All right, so now that we've got our start and end date and our fiscal year set to 5, let's go ahead and push Invoke. So now this will create our date table. It's that easy. I'm going to go ahead and rename it. Go ahead and push close and apply. And then just now we can scroll through the date table real quick. So it's literally that simple. You just open up transform data, copy and paste into a new blank query, advanced editor, copy paste, done, 1/1/2020, 1/1/2023, invoke, load, and that's it. So it's really just that easy to get a date table into Power BI using this method. It's super neat, super nifty, gives you all of these columns. Let's just go through these columns real quick and then go through how we can get some of this stuff on the table or on the page. So of course we've got our date column, and then over to the right we've got all of our other fields. So some of the fields that I use the most, and we'll go through some of the different things that we can do here to some of these fields, are month and year, month name, short month, we've got week number, we've got where our fiscal years over here. So then we've got our fiscal year data, so our fiscal year will be starting again on that month that we selected. Couple of other quarters, previous quarter stuff, fiscal week, previous fiscal year to date, previous fiscal quarter year to date. So a whole bunch of nice things to filter by within this table. So the next thing that you need to do with the date table is go ahead and right click on the date table and mark it as a date table. Once that comes up, just select that date column and push OK. And now you can see that just all of those date hierarchies disappear. So now we're just on a date table. All right, let me go ahead and throw in another table real quick here, just to show you how to get this stuff related. All right, so let's throw in a relationship to our tables real quick. So we've got a table full of individuals, and on our table we've got a start date. So on that start date, let's relate our date table. So our date table, let's drag our date and make a relationship to our start date. So now I've got a one-to-many relationship from our date table to our individual table. Now over on our reporting page, let's go ahead and create a simple measure for counting individuals. And then let's go ahead and throw on a visual. Let's go with this one, and count of individuals. And so you can see without any date context, we've got a total of 7,500 individuals. So we've got 7,500 individuals that have opened within our data, right? So that those have been the total relationships, but we don't know when they've opened. Let's throw some dates on there. So then this is going to be the daily dates. So now we've got dates on here in a daily context. Doesn't look too nice, right? Doesn't look too neat, doesn't look too pretty, kind of hard to read. So that's kind of where the power of the date table comes into play. So let's say we want to put in that fiscal year as our top. So now we've got a nice fiscal year broken out by the start of the month of May. So each fiscal year will be starting on May. And then let's include that here. So let's do month and year underneath our year. And then now, there you go. So now we've got April starting in, let's see, fiscal year. So here's another good thing. So the years and months and years get sorted not by default. So we have to go over to our month and year column. And all of these and year columns are going to be needed to be sorted. So if you ever do use like a month and year, quarter and year, you are going to need to sort that. Very easy to sort. Just hop over to the column on the field, click on that column, and then go over to that sort by column field. So click on the column, month and year is going to be our field, and we're going to want to sort it by the month in year. So it's the month in year. Same thing with the quarter, it'd be quarter in year. All right, and once you know it's done is when you click on it again, you'll see that it's highlighted down there. So instead of having to select it again, it'll already be sorted by that. Now if we come over here, now we can see that our fiscal year is starting when we've indicated on our table. So again, going back to when we initially input our data, our date table in our date query on Power Query Editor, we started it in the month 5 being May. You can see that our fiscal year is starting in May. So again, just using the date table, super powerful, super easy to use. So let me know what you think of it. Hope you guys get some use out of this date table and can loop it into your models. Find it in the description. Thanks.